Stoked to be the Stokes with Brian and Ariana. It's about to get real, you better believe me. Just got married, trying to make it through life. See, with
faith, honesty, and respect, we'll get through anything.
Stoked to be the Stokes, yeah. Yes, we are. Stoked to be the Stokes.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of Stoked to be the Stokes with Brian Lamar Stokes.
And Ariana Stokes.
We're having a baby.
Yes,
We are having a baby. We're having a whole baby.
We're trying to say it till it feels real.
We went half on a baby.
Yes.
And it happened.
Yes.
Accidentally,
Okay.
but it happened. But they say, you know, if you do the things that we do, that it ain't an okay. But we're having a baby.
So this is the baby episode, y'all.
This is the baby episode,
Maybe
the first baby episode.
Yeah, the first baby episode.
It's called Great Expectations because we have great expectations for our child, for our life together. I'm so excited about the baby coming into the world and being a dad and knowing her as a mom, I guess. If this is your first time tuning into our episode, you know that we'll start you off with something to chew on. I feel so weird because I'm like, hey, we're about to talk about like something like, not something that's like only personal, but like we're in it right now. Usually like we talk about things, oh, this happened before. We can compare it to this and that. But it's like really like everything is becoming real in the moment. So it's just like, okay, here we go. Here we are.
Here we are.
You get all of it. You're leading this episode today.
Okay.
This is your first time tuning in. You know that we start off with something to chew on. So give us something to chew on.
You said that.
Okay, sorry. I'm going to be a dad. We're having a baby. Great.
Okay, y'all.
Perfect.
So I got
hey,
something
world.
to chew on. Okay, so what I found, because, you know, of course, one of the questions that we actually get a lot now that we've started announcing it is, you know, where are you guys trying? And a lot of the time before we announced it, people would ask, well, when are you planning on having a baby? And so the question, of course, leads people to wonder, when is the right time? Is there a perfect time? So I looked up an article because, of course, most would agree that there is no perfect time to get pregnant or perfect time to have a baby. I don't know that there's any time that, you know, people feel ready necessarily, financially, emotionally. But this article was interesting because it was basically kind of breaking it down by state about how long couples usually wait to have babies. And I know when people would initially ask us, well, I never answered because I didn't really have a specific plan. I just knew, one time to be married and I guess travel and, you know, do all those other things. Brian would always say 2020. I don't know if you were
That's what
saying
made sense to me, 2020, just to throw it up because it seemed further away.
Just to throw it out there.
And now I'm mad because, you know, I mean, I'm excited about the baby coming in 2019, but I want it like a 2020. Like February 2nd, 2020 type baby.
Oh, just for
like
the
I wanted the
numbers?
2020. So I guess when she popped this one out in 2019, I'm going to pop right back in there. We're going to do 2020.
Pop right back in there.
But yeah, I did want a 2020 baby.
Okay.
Because 2020, when were you born? You know, 2020. That's dope.
Okay. Well, you still got time. But right now, this baby is due 2019. Okay. As you guys saw in our announcement video, we're expecting a winter baby. So
A winter baby, my
I'm
favorite
grateful.
holiday.
Yes. And
The baby will love the cold just like his or her father.
Okay. I'm just glad that I won't be big and pregnant in the summer months. The summer months for me will be second trimester. They say that it's like time to travel and you feel happy and energetic. So I'm excited because summer is my season. Yes. So this article basically was written by a woman who is saying that, you know, she got married. She was 33 after being in a relationship for 2 years. She didn't feel ready, quote unquote, to have a baby until she was 36. And she ended up having twins right after she turned 37.
My God.
So they were together for about 5 years before they, you know, started talking, you know, children. They traveled and, you know, bonded as a couple, et cetera, et cetera. So basically there was a survey that was taken and it turns out that there are a few states where it seems like couples are getting married later and waiting longer to have children. Then there's a few others where they're getting married a little bit earlier than the national average and they're waiting a shorter amount of time.
If y'all hear crunching, it's the dog.
That's Max.
Every time we start recording, Max want to bring his A behind in here and start eating. He got all day to eat. He be here all day alone with the AC on chilling, and now you want to eat. But it's okay. So if you hear crunching, it's the
That's
dog.
Max over there eating.
I want to go take his bowl, but I don't want to leave the camera.
Oh, yes. Okay, so apparently couples in Louisiana, New York, Mississippi, South Carolina, and New Mexico have the shortest wait between marriage and children. On average, that was like a little bit under 2 years, with the average marrying age being around like 26 or so. And then there was California, which is where we are, and she just mentioned it specifically because that's where she's from, where the average age for marriage is 28, and women were having their first kid around 30 and a half years old. That's like a 2.5-year wait. Then there were those where they had a much longer waiting time. I believe it was Utah, Idaho. I'm trying to remember the other places. It's not mentioned in this article, but a few of those, like, are those northwestern states?
Don't ask me
the
about
ones
math.
you don't know exactly
Don't ask me
where they
about
are.
math.
Yeah. Oh, it's not math. Oh, was that me?
Yeah,
Feedback?
phone went close.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, y'all. But they were getting married a little bit later, like closer to 28, 29, and waiting, between 3 and 5 years to have kids. Which I would have thought in those states where I picture the cost of living to be a little bit lower, that people would be getting married younger and having kids earlier. But I guess not. So I just mention it because, different strokes for different folks. Mm-hmm. But
what works for the Stokes?
What works for the Stokes works for the Stokes, right? And apparently this is what works for the Stokes because we are pregnant in our first year of marriage. Well, we got pregnant.
Right, y'all. I have a short story to tell. I went on my first pregnancy run last night. Y'all, she was in the bed crying over food.
I wasn't crying.
No, Ariana Nicole Stokes, crying real tears over food in the bed as if life was about to be over. So I took a trip to Target. Because we got a little gift card to Target. And I went grocery shopping. I'm like, let me go get everything she wants on this list. And then she kept calling me every 5 minutes to add something or switch something. How do you crave chocolate, strawberries, what's the other thing called? Soda that's not real soda. And salt and vinegar chips at the same time. And then made me buy a pickle that's been sitting in there for the last 4 weeks, but haven't even eaten that. And then I bought all the stuff that she wanted, and then she didn't even eat it.
Because you cooked dinner. I think I was just hungry. When you're hungry, you usually want a little bit of everything. That's not even related to
if you listen to the podcast, go to the YouTube so you can see my face. Because it's just ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
You love it. And I don't think that was your first pregnancy run.
No, that was my first one.
Even the little late night Wendy's runs?
Oh, that was my first one by myself. Just grab it. Just grab it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Quickly.
Okay.
She's moving the dog stuff because he's being loud. Okay. All right, and we're back. That commercial was brought to you by Saved and Sassy by Cassie Malassie. Follow her on Instagram and her YouTube page.
Yes.
Does she have YouTube?
Okay. Can you still hear me?
No, her podcast. Did you unclick something?
I don't know. I just don't hear me as much.
Oh.
Can you hear me okay?
Sure.
Okay. If you can, then that's fine.
I don't know. I think you pulled something.
Okay. Testing.
Go ahead. You're still recording.
Okay. That's fine. Okay. So, moving on. So, because we kind of want to get through this episode. Because, y'all, today, let me just say, today was a long day.
Long day.
I'm finding that working while pregnant is no joke. I don't know how pregnant people work. I've thought about quitting my job or looking for a stay-at-home job.
Where are you going to live?
At least 5 times in the past 24 hours. I'm going to live right here.
Oh, okay.
You work. It'll work.
Yeah, I know. I work enough to feed me and the baby.
The blood still works, huh?
You got to feed yourself, girl.
You feed the baby, and she had to.
What the Bible say? A man that don't work don't eat.
I'm not a man.
Hey, a woman that don't work.
That's not what the Bible says. Okay. So basically, we just kind of wanted to go over a few of the, first trimester things that we experienced. Like, well, we already kind of talked about what our plan was, or 2020, according to Brian. I didn't have a specific plan. What made us suspect that we were pregnant? Because since we said it wasn't exactly on purpose,
I didn't suspect anything. She the one that's coming out with a pregnancy test at 2 weeks talking about I'm pregnant.
It was not 2 weeks.
3 weeks?
The reason why I even thought to take a test was because normally I have like PMS, symptoms, right? So I noticed certain things a couple weeks, before I'm expecting, my cycle and everything. And if you're kind of using like a tracker or something, it's easy to start thinking like, oh, are these PMS symptoms or are these early pregnancy symptoms? Not because you're trying, but just because you're kind of curious. But of course, they kind of mimic each other. Well, they do mimic each other a lot.
Sure.
So every time, like for the past few months, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, am I pregnant? Or, and then I would find that when we found out I wasn't, although we weren't like trying to get pregnant, it was a little disappointing. Like, oh,
I was not disappointed.
That would have been kind of cool. He is not telling the truth. Tell the truth
I
and
was
shame
not
the devil.
I
Yes,
was
you
not
were.
disappointed.
You were a little
I
disappointed.
said,
Like, oh,
no,
that would
I
have been
think
exciting.
it was more of like, oh, she said, oh, I'm sorry.
Why are you not telling the truth on this podcast?
No,
You are
act
not
like we have
telling.
a studio audience here that I gotta lie to them about.
You were okay. So not once were you not disappointed?
Sure, I was definitely disappointed.
Okay, thank
That
you.
you were disappointed.
Well, anyhow, there was disappointment, right? So I was like, how would it be if we actually did find out we were pregnant? But I don't know if it actually really crossed my mind like a reality. So anyways, I noticed that I wasn't feeling any PMS symptoms. And then I was like, I wonder if that is a sign of early pregnancy. So because I had a few like little Dollar Tree, tests, because those tests are expensive. So I went and got a few from the Dollar Tree. And they say they're most effective after a certain point. And I took it a little early thinking, oh, maybe I'll take another one later when it's more effective. Took it. That faint positive came up. And I was like, say what you say now? What? Now Brian was gone. He was gone to the store. I took it intentionally while he was gone because I wanted time to. No, you were going to get food to cook for dinner because you were cooking. Yeah, you were cooking burgers that night. And I was like, if it is positive, I need time.
Everything.
Am I shaking?
Dang.
Oh, I can't hear mine. I was like, if it is positive, I want to be able to, process myself. And then if it's negative, I want to be able to process myself or whatever. Anyhow, I got caught up watching. Thank you. You're messing up my hair. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways,
we take a week off and you act like you ain't never done a show in your life.
I didn't know it was.
Come on, hurry up with this story.
I got caught up watching. You throwing me off. Stop, please. Okay. I got caught up watching a show, and I was like, I forgot. Let me go take the test before he gets back. So I ran to go take the test. Saw that it was positive. And they say faint is still positive. You don't have any like false positives with the test or whatever. Took another one, still positive, right? So I'm like, oh. I looked in the mirror and I was like, I'm pregnant. You're pregnant. You're going to have a baby. You're going to be a mother. You're pregnant. Brian's going to be a father. Like, I was just trying to say it until it made sense. It didn't make any sense. So Brian comes home and I'm like, oh, shoot. Because in my mind, I was always going to do some kind of romantic gesture to tell Brian that he was going to be a father, for the first time. And there was just no time because as soon as he came home.
There was time. She just didn't have patience to wait more than 2 minutes from finding out that she was pregnant. So I get home and I can usually feel how she be doing weird stuff. And I'm like, Ariana, what are you doing? What is going on? Because she's not coming out. I hear her pacing in the back. She's rumbling through stuff. So I'm just like, okay, she's just being weird. I continue to cook. She comes in the kitchen, comes up behind me. And I'm like, why are you being weird? I guess she was, yeah. She was trying to record me.
That made me too nervous.
And I'm just like, okay, what is it? What is going on? So mind you, house half a mess. Just cooked dinner, about to sit down, eat a meal. So I sit down and she goes, are you ready for your world to be rocked? And I'm like, what? Do you want some or something? Why are you making that face? That's what I'm thinking. It's my side of the story.
Okay. Just.
And I go, what? What is it? And she goes, you ready to be a father?
I did not say
that's
that.
That's what it was.
If you're going to tell it, you have to tell it right. The AC's on, by the way.
I can't do anything.
Okay. So I said, you ready for your world to be rocked? And he looked at me like, what is that supposed to mean? And I was like, you're going to be a father. And then he was quiet for like.
That's the whole story.
Maybe 5 minutes. Well, he kept saying, are you serious? Kind of like when he proposed. And I was like, are you serious? Are you for real? Y'all see for real? He was like, are you serious? Ariana. Well, he didn't say Ariana. Ariana, are you serious? Oh my gosh. Are you? And then he just stared. His eyes were super big. Then he had his hands on his head. Then he got up and he started walking around with his hands on his head. And I was just looking at him because I didn't really know anything to say. I was still processing myself. And then he started worshiping God. So he put his arms up in the air.
Had to worship him. I mean,
down
everybody
real
don't get a
low.
baby.
He crouched down real low.
That's true. Everybody know?
Oh, yes,
every
yes.
time
Okay,
I say something,
don't
you get
say that
offended.
again. Don't say that again. Okay, that is true. And then I was like, are you okay? He was like, are you serious? I was like, I don't play about stuff like this. Brian, the one who play about stuff like that, he'll tell anybody, oh, we expecting just to get a reaction. I don't joke about stuff like that. So I was like, yes,
No, I don't.
You had just done it to my parents about a week prior.
No, but I don't. Okay, go ahead. Tell your story. She'd be telling it out of context.
You do joke. You said.
Go ahead.
Ariana's
Yeah, you're right.
What's
Make
the
sure you're
context?
talking to your mic. I can't hear
What's
you.
the context? That is what you said.
Okay, cool.
As a joke.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I don't joke about stuff like this. I'm serious. So anyways, he was quiet for a little bit more, and then he like got his phone. Well, he hugged me and kissed me. He got his phone and he made a video for the baby. Hello, baby. This is your father, right? He got halfway through the video, started crying.
Gotta let the baby know.
So then when he got himself together, he made
I loved you the minute
yes.
I found out.
Yes. And then he made another video once he, pulled it together. Then he spent some time on the floor, on his back. I don't know. It was a lot. And the whole time I was just watching him because I was just like, what does this mean moving forward? Now, granted, that same day, I had found out that we got the job, which meant we were moving. So this was just like a lot of change all at once. And I don't think I expected it, even though, so there's some indigestion, so that's why I keep burping. People have said they noticed that in the episodes that I keep. But there was just a lot of changes going on, and I was just like, wow, okay, we ain't got no family out here, okay.
Ain't got no money out here.
It was like, what does this mean? So it was just a lot. But that's how we found out. That's how I told Brian. That was his reaction. So then, of course, we were trying to figure when's the best time to tell family and friends. Because I was still very early. This was like, I was only 3 weeks, right? People say, oh.
I just said 2-3 weeks, and she just said I was lying.
You said 2 weeks. And I said that wasn't true because I was 3. 2 is not 3. So then I was like, well, people always say you don't want to wait too long. But, Brian received a word from the Lord about this child. So I was like, we could tell family and friends. So, we told like our parents, our siblings, close friends. And then gradually, as time passed, we would gradually tell more and more people. Some people, especially the people at our church who are very prophetic, were just like, are you pregnant? Is she pregnant? I didn't know how to respond to that. People were having dreams. I had a dream that you were pregnant. I had a dream and you came in with your baby. And I'm just like, well, you don't say. Maybe that's symbolic. I don't lie very well. So I didn't know how to say, girl, boy, I don't know what you're talking about. People would ask Brian, are you pregnant?
She pregnant?
He would start acting crazy in a way that made it uncomfortable. Like, okay, are you hiding something? Because he would just start, pregnant? What's the pregnant? Huh? Who pregnant? I'm like, you have to relax, or people are going to suspect. So we had like our first ultrasound, which is maybe when it felt a little more real. And, baby was just about the size of a bean at that time. Mm-hmm. But it was still so interesting to be like, oh my gosh, like there's actually something in there. We could see a heartbeat. We could hear a heartbeat, even though it was very quick. And then, fast forward a little bit, and we went and had our second ultrasound. Baby looked totally different. It looked like a real baby. There was a head, there was arms, there was legs. Baby was moving. It was just like, whoa. But it still didn't quite feel real. Maybe because I couldn't feel anything. So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, this is an interesting show. But it didn't feel like it was taking place inside of me. So I don't know. And then I was wondering if you felt detached. So I'm like, if I feel this way, what do you feel? Because it's not your bodies, or did you feel like, what did you feel like?
I don't know. I think I was just like, I think in my head I was like, maybe when she has like a whole stomach, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, we're having a baby. I don't know. Other than that, I'm like, oh, I wonder like what she feels like. Detached, maybe tired. Like in the sense of like, oh, yeah, we're pregnant, but she's the one that's carrying it. Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, we're pregnant, but I don't look pregnant, but I feel very different. And I felt like everyone was going to look at me like, dang, why is she just sitting around? Because I did not physically look pregnant. Most people did not know I was pregnant, but y'all was so tired. Like normally after church, I'd be up around mingling and everything, and I was just sitting. Like if you wanted to see me, you had to come to me. If you wanted a hug, you had to stoop down and hug me. I wasn't even standing up. I was literally exhausted. And I'm like, why am I so tired? I haven't done anything more than I normally do. And it felt unreasonable. Like I felt like I was like milking it or something. Like, okay, girl, you pregnant, but you just got pregnant.
She does.
But I wasn't trying to at that point.
And I was
so tired.
You do. Definitely.
And then I was like, well, at least when I start gaining weight, can't nobody say nothing to me because I'm pregnant. But then I was like, will I even notice like that I'm showing? Because I've been looking pregnant for the past 2 years just with being bloated. So what will that look like?
I don't know who told her that.
I got video to prove it. If I get real bold, I might post it. But no, I told me that. You know, sometimes you look and you're like, oh, food baby. Yeah, like it looks like a little baby bump. Okay. So I was very tired and felt like I was looking very lazy. I would come home from work extremely tired. I I think maybe that was the biggest thing. And then I started getting a little nauseous, and
I have
then,
so many videos. I'll post them
yeah,
when
Brian
when
wanted
it's
to
less
record
funny.
every symptom.
When it's not actually happening.
So I'm like, okay, I guess this is really happening, but it still didn't feel any different physically. So there was that part. But then the more people we told, the more we got to feel like, oh, like this is real. People are rejoicing with us. They're happy with us. And then we had to figure out when was the best time to announce publicly after we told anyone who we did not want to find out just on social media.
Yeah.
And for that part, I felt a little scared to be exposed.
Y'all, she pushed that back 3 weeks.
Because I just
Every
felt
week she's like, nah.
I felt like once we put it out there,
it's out there.
it's out there. And people going to say what they want to say and chime in and want to touch me and, and I didn't know how I was going to feel about all of that. And I kind of liked having our own little secret.
Yeah.
But once we did, all of the love that came back was very encouraging.
It definitely was.
Yeah, it was very encouraging. And I think that I have found out one thing is that I don't think I want people to rub my belly.
Yeah.
Makes me a little uncomfortable.
PSA.
There's really no belly yet. This is the same belly I've had since 2000. When did we get together? 16. Well, 17 by the time I started getting weight.
You did not have a belly when we got together.
So 2017. That's probably when I started
wearing
getting
size
weight.
4 and wearing white often.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
So, I don't know. I feel a little uncomfortable with that. And I don't rub people's bellies, so I don't really get that part. So I'm just putting
rub
it
her
out
belly.
there, spread the word.
Because if you rub her belly, I'm going to rub yours. And that's real. And that's on period.
So, yeah, just boundaries, I guess, boundaries. And then, so we've had, the first 2 ultrasound visits, which was a lot of fun. And I honestly thought we were having twins because... Well, I have twins in my family. In my
How
generation.
many twins you got in your family?
There's like
2?
4 sets.
4 sets.
4 sets of twins. All in my generation of cousins. They have had twins. And I had a dream where I saw 2 on the ultrasound. And then you had a dream that your friend from high school, Mallory, who has twins, came and told you, oh, she's having twins.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
that is true.
All these twin dreams, okay, let's get ready for 2 because God speaks to me through dreams. Let's get ready for 2. So then when they first looked, I said, are you sure you see just 1? And they're like, yeah, we're sure. But then they said something about the machine and it's older machine. I said, I don't trust this. So we went to one of those like private ultrasound places where you can go and all they do is ultrasounds. And those are ultrasound techs. So I was like, okay, can y'all just look? I got my full bladder. I need you to look all over. They saw 1. Even up until the second ultrasound, I still was not quite sure. I was still, because some people find out late. They call it like hidden twin or something
hidden
like
twin.
that.
Okay.
Who knows? Who knows? All I know is I wasn't looking to have twins, so why would I have that dream?
And I thank God that we are not. Because I cannot be in the studio. If I got 2, what's going to happen? I just need 1. So I can keep
You could do it. So many people have done it. And Brian had been praying for multiples. So
I have not been praying for multiple. I just say, I mean.
Much. You used to touch me and say 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. So if we had twins, know that that's all you, man of God. All right? So yeah. There's 1.
We could have had twins, but you messed it up. But whatever.
As far as we know, there's 1. So yeah, so we talked about making it public. We talked about the twin dreams. So I don't know that perfect timing exists or does not exist because
I think when you have a baby, that is the perfect time.
And we're very blessed in that this timing actually is very, what's the word? Maybe it's not perfect, but we're in a very good place.
Yes.
Excuse me. We have a great church community with lots of people who have kids.
Great.
Lots of people who have kids, so they're getting advice. Like one of the women took me out to dinner, just to celebrate. We see their kids running around. They have clothes. They have just like a wealth of knowledge. It's a true community. But also, we have Brian now has his studio garage, so his studio is separate from the apartment. We ain't got no apartment.
I got a whole house.
So his studio is separate from the apartment, separate from the house. Why can I not say that? Separate from the house. And so now the second bedroom can be for the nursery.
Amen.
And the other part is that with my new job, because I'm back in labor and delivery in the hospital setting again, which is where most of my background has been as a nurse at least.
Cover this all, Jesus. Amen.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh,
keep talking. No, you're not. I'm just saying cover it. Haters.
Amen. Like now I get to work with the people who will likely be there when I deliver, and I get to know some of the doctors and pick out a doctor based on how I see them work, as opposed to just picking one, off the internet and hoping that we body gel.
Right.
So I'm excited about that because I plan on
It's
going in there like
because she's working at
right. So you
the
have
hospital
that
to have the baby. That's
and there's
a
other
beautiful
pregnant
thing.
nurses there with me,
Other
which is
pregnant,
exciting.
3 of them, right?
Well, actually 4.
Okay,
So 2
4
along
of
with
them.
me and 2 who are going to deliver soon. So that's exciting. And for the 2 who are along with me, it's also their first. So I have like some bump buddies. There's a few more women at church who are pregnant. So it just seems like a great time to be pregnant for us.
I got a job.
Yes, yeah. And
That
you like
salary,
it.
and
You
I
love
like it.
Yeah, you love it.
Working like 32
we should probably do an
hours, just
episode about healthy
being
work
blessed.
environments.
Yeah. Oh, and it's a great healthy. I've never had a healthy work environment.
That's true.
I've never had, whether volunteering or really working.
Yeah, you've always
I've
been
never
in like
had
burnout
a
situations.
healthy work environment, and this is like a great one. And also, just to like be really like open, like, why are you smirking?
I'm like, where's this going?
No, just
yay.
like being healed, like from the whole like the depression stage.
Oh yes.
It's no longer there. The anxiety is like no longer there. Like I can have like some spouts of feeling like, oh, I feel like a little weird, but it's like everything is just like stable.
Yeah.
So like emotionally, mentally, spiritually, like things are going, and financially, things are just going so much better. Because we could go back to some podcasts and we were just talking about like, what is going on? How are we making it through? And we were talking about ebb and flow and all that. And it just seems like God is like, just like, hey, you guys want to live in the overflow for a little bit? You guys want to be, a little comfortable while I'm still like, working some things out. And on top of that, I've been getting so many, I'll just call it gigs right now to worship.
Yeah, opportunities.
People are just calling me. I'm just like, how do you even know me? From where? How? What?
Yeah.
And paying my rate.
And that's what you wanted, was to be mentally, financially stable. And maybe a lot of that came after you found out you were going to be a dad, as opposed to like you finding out and then it was like, okay. Or wait, as opposed to you getting to that place and then being like, okay I'm ready to be a father.
Because when I first moved to LA, I'm like, I'm never having kids. Because the kids, in the sense of like never having them, because they'll mess up my flow. It'll take up all of my time and I won't be able to like be the star I want to be.
So you were never going to be a father?
I think that I was not going to have kids until I had $1 million or something like that. It was something stupid.
Oh, okay,
But let me make my first $1 million and then I'll have a kid. I used to say that a lot.
Really?
Right. So my first $1 million must be coming. But you keep going.
Yes. No, that's all I got. And I just got really tired. So.
All right. So
I'm ready to go.
Okay, that's baby episode number 1. We got
that was
we
short
have
and
more
sweet.
episodes lined up just to talk about the babies and the appointments.
As we progress.
And how as we progress.
Maybe not whole episodes, but we can give an update each episode.
Okay, cool. Whatever.
I don't even know if we have whole episode content.
Girl, I don't even know how long. I feel like we've been here for 10 minutes, but I don't even care.
Oh,
it's all good. It's been longer than that.
Well.
So let's just end with low high.
Low high.
Or
okay.
did you have a traffic light for me?
I mean, you just keep doing what you're doing because you're amazing. You just, you've been cooking, you've been cleaning, you've been listening to me when I go on my emotional rant. I appreciate that more than anything. So it would be all green lights, but do I have low high? I have low high.
Go ahead, let me hear it.
Okay, so my low is that for the past 3 weeks, almost every day, with the exception of 2 days, I've been experiencing an ongoing headache. And I do not like headaches. When I have a headache, I do not feel like myself. I don't want to do anything because I feel like everything exacerbates it. And yes, that has probably been the low. I found that certain things like coffee, not really a coffee drinker, but a little bit of coffee works, prayer. Tylenol hasn't really done too much. Rest, not being at work, but Brian says that now is not the time to quit my job. So
side note, let me tell y'all something. So Ariana works in the hospital, so they have to work holidays and whatnot. The 4th is coming up. Cool. Bada bing, bada boom.
yes.
So, any other time she work in the hospital, she work her holidays, she keep it moving, yada yada yada. I'm telling her, I'm like, oh, on the 3rd, my job is closing out early. On the 3rd, I'm going to get out,
And he's off the
couple
4th.
couple hours early. And, they're giving us like the 4th off with pay.
Because he gets holidays off.
She said.
I did not.
The 4th off? I feel like I need a day off. I feel sick.
So
That's what it was
loud.
like. Like she just started manifesting like, if you have it off, I need it off. We need it off together. I feel sick.
I like to spend time with my
Working makes
husband.
me so tired.
It does.
It's me and the baby. Oh my gosh,
We be
Brian,
tired.
let me take the day off. Okay, so I said, okay, Ariana, all right. If you so sick, why don't take the 4th off? Just take tomorrow off. She said, how about the 3rd? But if you sick and you tired right now, why wouldn't you want to take the day off? That's all. That's my traffic light. Stop copying me. Stop trying to follow me all the time. Stop trying to do what I'm trying to do. Stop trying to want what I want all the time.
The other part of being tired. The other part of being tired is that I feel like I have not had any time between work and church and sleeping to get the house together. So I'm like, if I'm gonna take a personal day, it can't all be sleep because I gotta do stuff around the house. I gotta make sure the bills are right and also clean a little bit probably. And so to me it makes sense if both of us are here at the same time so that we can do it together to be more enjoyable. And if I feel bad every day at work, then
she had time to make that up.
No,
but
I said that
her main thing was talking about I don't feel good. I am so tired. But she was just so tired that she couldn't go to work on the 4th. But you rather go with the 2nd or 3rd and just give me the 4th off. I can push through. Just give me the 4th.
Then we got into a whole argument because I don't mind when Brian says no or something, but I just needed him to do it gently with, it was an argument, with compassion. He laughed at me, accused me of copying him, and made it sound like I don't like to work. I've never been afraid of a little work. I just want to spend time with you, and I feel like we can maximize that time if we are both here together, working on the house, the bills, and resting and just enjoying one another. I do. I always support you when you want a personal day. I push you to take personal days.
You support me when I want a personal day because I was working at a job with crackheads who were agitating me so much.
We get a crackhead every now and then.
But y'all get them for one day and leave. I was working with the addicts all day. It's just different. But what I was going to say is I definitely agree with you. You're definitely right, about wanting, to be together and, clean the house and all that stuff. Whatever.
I'm right about what?
Yeah, it's good to have like a partner helping you out doing things. But at the same time, if you want it so bad, then At the same time, if you're sick and tired, you're sick and tired. Now you're sick and tired and need a partner to clean. But I mean, you just make up the story that's another red light. You like to, keep making up stories and adding on so that even when you're wrong, you become right or that they make sense.
Now I'm a storyteller?
Yeah, you've been a storyteller. I don't know who you get it from.
Let's not do traffic light.
Okay.
Let's just do low high. My low is the headaches. What is your low?
My low is
don't make it about me.
I really don't have a low. My mind is feeling good. I love my job. I have a family. I don't have a low. I have no complaints.
Well, praise God.
I have no complaints.
Okay.
And a check comes to this house every week. Okay, let me stop. Yeah. I mean, nobody understands how
everybody
it was
people
hard.
Understand.
It was a hard season. It's not to be like, ooh, we got it all because I didn't. It was a hard season.
We're still coming up. So you don't want people being like, and it's like, no, we're still.
Oh, they what? Oh, they got a whole baby coming. What the heck?
I understand.
Y'all, when Christmas come around, you know who? Okay, let me stop. I love everybody. I'm gonna buy everybody a gift from the dollar store. Promise.
What's your high?
My high is I'm having a baby. Mm-hmm. My mind is clear.
Yes.
And a check comes to my bank account. Nobody knows what it's like to be unemployed.
A lot of people know.
And then have a job. I just want to be grateful. I just want the world to know that if you keep pressing forward, and if you keep applying, and you keep going to those interviews, something will break through. Yes. Someone will break through. Don't die for that job. Don't die for that job that you're at. That rugged, raggedy job. Don't do it. Let it go. Yeah, God will take care.
Don't die trying to make a living. Okay.
Because they'll replace you while you're dead.
That I've seen it happen. It happened 3 times at my last job. Quickly. Okay. My high, I was not quite prepared, but my high is that my high lately has all been about you. So let me think of something about me.
I guess she's still thinking.
I'm sorry. I'm so distracted by the fact that I'm so tired. All I can think about is I'm tired. That's what I hear. I'm tired.
Oh, okay. So.
Well, my high is that now. Okay, so we're in the 2nd trimester now, and I have been feeling, despite the headaches, more like myself.
Yeah.
Like more energy. Not every day, but most days, and feeling like okay, I'm kind of getting back in action. I'm looking forward to 2nd trimester because everyone says it's like a brand new you, and so I feel like, maybe it'll start feeling real soon. Because even this morning I woke up and I'm like, does this feel real to you? Because I still don't feel like there's a baby but I know that there is. We've seen the pictures and all that other stuff. I noticed changes happening within my body and to my body, which are very interesting, but attributing it to a baby, that part I'm still not quite connecting with. So I'm excited to see what the second trimester brings, but I'm glad that I'm already seeing positive things. My appetite is back. I'm enjoying healthy foods.
Is it back? I mean, it's forward.
I'm enjoying healthy foods because before I just did not like a lot of stuff. Like certain smells made me nauseous. Sound bothered me a lot. People talking too loud. Any extra noise. Like it was just, why? It's just too much. And then, but now it's like I'm enjoying like juicy fruits, for example, cherries, plums, things like that. And yes, you're juicy. And then I think sweets was bothering me before. I'm starting to be able to incorporate that because y'all know I love sweets, but I probably needed a break from that. And now I have a little break from the salty, crunchy, spicy. So yeah, I'm just feeling good that I'm, feeling some good changes and that I have some pregnant people to be bump buddies with.
Yeah. You're doing good stuff, man. Good
Thank
job.
you.
Holding out.
Yes.
Holding out, whatever it is. If you're not following us on social media, it's at Stoked to be the Stokes, exactly how it sounds. Stoked to be the Stokes. If you want to follow my lovely wife, it's Ariana Nicole Stokes. If you like to follow me, it's at Brian Lamar Stokes.
Yes.
Now that concludes this episode of Stoked to be the Stokes with Brian Lamar Stokes.
And Ariana Stokes.
Now remember, with love,
faith,
honesty,
and respect,
we'll get through anything. See you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Maybe, depending on how
we'll
Ariana's
be back next
feeling.
Tuesday. No, we're going to be consistent. We going to be consistent.
All right. We love you guys. Pray for us as we pray for you.